everyone, Anita here, and today I'm here with
Leo Styles.
And we're gonna talk about
Death Note.
And we are going to be talking about a lot of things that will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen the anime or you haven't seen the trailers, you probably don't want to watch this video because we are going to talk about spoilers and things that happened within the anime. Death Note happens to be one of my very favorite animes. How about you, Leo?
Yes, it will be in my top 5.
What does it take for you to enjoy anime?
I have to resonate with it. I had to find something within it to connect to.
I find that, like, for me to really enjoy an anime, it has to have a very strong story and also strong characters. With Death Note, I feel like the characters are so strong. You watch them transition throughout the anime, especially Light Yagami. He starts off as this, like, you know, kid, and this bomb literally drops down from the sky and just takes him into a completely different world. It's integrating supernatural life with his regular boring life.
And then you have L, who's, again, one of my favorite characters.
Mine too. L very much reminds me of Sherlock Holmes. He's like the detective character that knows everything and can just look at you and evaluate and see things like that you don't see.
Looking at Death Note is basically watching
Moriarty and
versus
Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Honestly, that was the burst parallel that I made when I started watching the show. I feel like he starts off as this awesome character that catches everybody, all the crime, like he can figure it out. At that very end moment when, you know, he was submitting basically to Light, it was heartbreaking, and I was like, no, Elle, you gotta keep going. And it's just like, it was a sad moment that I just had to absorb.
I know it's you.
I can't do anything about it. You won, yeah. Feet are gross in Japanese culture. To see Elle touching Light's feet and rubbing them, and just, that's like the epitome of defeat, you know? And that was so hard for me to watch.
The hardest part for me was to see, like, Light completely disregard his father. It was one of those moments where it's like, you have no regard for your family anymore.
Well, he changed so much through the anime that he wasn't even the same person towards the end of it. At that point, he really thought he was God, and he was like, I control the world, basically. And everybody worshipped him, you know, he had so many followers. Do you remember the intro of Death Note? The imagery?
Yes.
The imagery in the intro of Death Note was very biblical. Like in the beginning intro, you see Michelangelo's creation of Adam referenced in the intro, and I think Ryuk, right?
Yeah.
He's Ryuk, and like he's like reaching, and he's basically awakening Light to this whole other world where he essentially does become God.
But don't forget, Ryuk, lover apples.
It's like the forbidden fruit. Yeah.
Ryuk drops his Death Note just to see what happens. Temptation.
Yeah, temptation. And in the intro at the end, do you remember when the apple was sitting on the desk and it turned into the Death Note? So that's like proof that the Death Note is temptation. And I've seen the live action one too, and I loved the live action one.
The problem is when you go from anime to live action, you automatically have like a higher expectation.
Oh, absolutely.
For some strange reason.
But yeah, the Japanese live action one was what, like 3 movies?
Yes.
It was amazing. I loved it. And the guy who played L in that was just such a great actor, and I completely believed that he was L. I almost loved him more than the anime L. But I don't know if you saw the 2015 Japanese show version of it.
No.
Oh God, I was so disappointed in that one. To me, L is such an important character, and the actor that portrayed L, he didn't have that essence of L. And not only that, but they changed it so much to where like he wore shoes all the time, and he was a clean freak, and if he got anything on his shirt, he had to change it immediately, and that's not the L that I grew to love. The L that I grew to love was this dirty L that like didn't ever wear shoes and was barefoot everywhere, and like he was just, that was part of his charm because he didn't care. His upkeep wasn't a necessity. Like Watari wasn't really his like butler or somebody who like, oh, I have to change his shirt immediately because he got a stain on it. Like that really took away a lot of, you know, my love for L in it. It was just a little bizarre. I wasn't a big fan of that one. But the live action one resonated so much with me, and then especially during the movie that they just made about L and his like journey throughout like the X amount of days that he had left to live, and what he did with Nier, you know, and that was actually such a beautiful story. They kind of extended L's life in a way. I had to stop watching the anime after he died.
Really?
For a little while, I had to stop watching it because I was so upset. I just didn't like it. I was like not okay with his death. It pissed me off. So I did stop watching it for like maybe a couple months, and then I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna finish this because I want to see it through. So then I started watching it and like saw Near and Mello and like, you know, all the different dynamics between them, and you know, kind of learned more about where Elle grew up.
When Elle died and they brought up Near and Mello, the problem is it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like they can
do the job.
Yeah, that's the way how like Mello explained. It took all three of them to beat
Kira. Yeah, everybody had their role in defeating Kira. So it took more than, you know, one person to do the job. So I feel like that I understood that. So I ended up loving it, you know, and it just like the little bits of Elle throughout the end, I was like, yes, you know, he's still there, even though he's no longer with us in the anime, he was still there. So a friend of mine who happens to be Japanese is a young actor out here, and he auditioned for Elle. He actually kind of looked like he could play a good Elle too. And then the other person that auditioned was another friend of mine who actually auditioned for Watari, and she was a girl. It was really cool for me to be able to read two like parts of the script with two different Japanese friends of mine. So I was like super excited. I'm like, oh my god, it's coming. All right, well, why don't we watch this this trailer and get an idea of what to expect from the American version.
The human whose name is written in this note shall die.
Wait for it.
Shall we begin?
What? Oh my god! Dude! It looked like Misa's character was like a brunette girl that seemed like, I don't know, a cheerleader or something? And she was like smoking nonchalantly with other girls around her. That, I didn't care for that part. I hope that they don't make her just like a regular person.
Well,
I hope she's still like the celebrity, because that was a huge part of like who she was and why she had an issue with Light, is because of her fame, you know, and that was getting in the way of it because it brought too much attention to Light, you know? For me, Misa's character needs to be that celebrity type.
Misa's character would be the popular girl. Not that smart, but she's popular. Let's say a boy came up to ask her out. She rejects him.
Okay, I can see that.
And he ends up
He ends
stalking
up being
her
the stalker,
and
and then
he's the stalker that
murders her.
that Kira kills.
Yeah,
And
and that's
then-
why she falls in love with Kira. I can see that.
Yeah,
I can
like
see that.
basically a situation that she's cornered in. He sees it just to test out the notebook. It wasn't just to save her. It was just to test out the notebook.
Maybe, yeah.
So he tests out the notebook, kills him, and you know, he disappears.
And she finds out like Kira did this. Kira
Right.
killed this guy, this crazy stalker.
Yeah, this crazy
that
stalker.
killed my dad. Yeah. I could see that working. Okay, so that takes away a little bit of the worry about her being a high school student. So if they play it like that.
She was famous. She was an idol.
Yeah.
So the fact that people would see them together, and he would, like, and that would give him his alibi.
But that also brought a lot of attention to who he was. So that gave him unnecessary attention. So I feel like that is more of where the anime was going with it. Like, this is a conflict, obviously. So I don't know how that's gonna resonate in the American rendition of this.
Right.
I did hear that they were gonna make Elle black, and I was like, what?
The actor, he plays Snoop Dogg in Straight Outta Compton.
Wait, he plays Snoop Dogg in Straight Outta Compton?
Yes, he played
Oh, I
him really
like
quick,
that
and
actor.
actually he's really good. I want to see how he does.
So, I mean, if Lakeith Stanfield does a good job with that Elle character that I love, then I could respect that. I don't really care so much that the actor is black, because that doesn't really make a difference. However, I just hope that he's able to catch the essence of Elle. Like, no matter who it is playing that character, they have to be able to catch the essence of the character that all of us that have watched the anime absolutely love. And if he doesn't catch that essence, people are not gonna like the movie because he is such a staple character.
Right.
You know? Another thing that I thought was kind of strange was that it looks like he's like on the school campus somewhere alone, and then the Death Note just drops out of nowhere to him.
Yeah.
But in the anime, it wasn't specifically for him.
Right.
Like Ryuk didn't pick him. Ryuk just dropped the Death Note wanting to see what happened because that's Ryuk. But this, in the beginning of this trailer, it looks like they've selected Light for the Death Note. Ryuk didn't care who it went to. Like, that was a thing about Ryuk, is that he just didn't care. I really hope that they do a good job with Ryuk, because Ryuk is such an important character that it's gonna completely take you out of it if he looks cheesy or if he just doesn't look right or something. Like, I feel like they really have to do a good job with Ryuk's character when they bring him to life. You know, hopefully they're gonna give Misa a Death Note so that we can see Rem as well, because Rem was an awesome Shinigami. Like,
Right,
I loved Rem.
The thing is, Rem was a complete, like, opposite of Ryuk. Like, Rem protected Misa.
Yeah, that's true. Rem definitely
Like,
protected
Ryuk
Misa, yeah.
was just like, oh, I can't wait to see this happen.
Rem did care. Rem loved Misa. Rem was like very attached to Misa. I hope that they stay true to that as well. I'm glad that Netflix is the one that's taking this on, to be honest with you. That gives me a lot of comfort. So,
I 100% agree. I want to see what they do with this.
my overall concerns are just with how they're gonna play it out and how well the actors are gonna do. Those are my main concerns. I am gonna go into this knowing that there's not gonna be an exact carbon copy of the anime, so I'm just gonna have to roll with the punches and hope for the best. So hopefully they do a good job, and they probably will.
Well, I feel like it's gonna be well done. If you're a Death Note fan that's seen it from day one, this might be a lot of things that's gonna irk you.
Yeah, so you do have to kind of be prepared for that.
Yeah.
So that's something that we have to kind of like prepare ourselves for when we go in watching this. It's like, okay, you know it's not gonna be perfect. Don't expect it to be perfect. There's gonna be a lot of changes with the characters. There's probably gonna be a lot of changes with the story. Hopefully it'll be awesome. So I'm looking forward to it. So bring it on, August 25th. I'm ready for you. Anyways, I'd like to give a big thanks to Leo Styles for coming on my channel. Thank you so much. Sorry. You're such a nerd. But Leo, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you?
Well, they can find me on Instagram at IamLeoStyles, or you can check out my YouTube channel at Last Man Standing ENT.
And there should be a video where Leo interviews me on there, so
That's true.
check that out. Go look at his channel. You'll see us talking back and forth for like ever. Tell me what you think of the Death Note series and the Death Note trailer down in the comments below. Make sure to smack that like button you know where, and subscribe to my channel and Leo's channel. I make new videos every single week. See you later, Stargazer. Bye! He was the first name I wrote in the Death Note.
Like, okay, so
Damn, I'm dying to death.
it's like,
I'm so sick. You're gonna get sick now, Rich. You got my disease. I'm sorry.